So first name on my list is probably Paul Mooney.
Sorry, was Dave on your list, Justin? Dave was on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
list,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he? Okay, Paul Mooney. Okay, cool.
Do you know
So
Paul Mooney is?
I know who Paul Mooney is.
Paul
second
Mooney.
name on your list then.
What you said, Nicholas?
I said it's the second name on his list because did you not agree with Dave Chappelle?
Yes.
Leave him alone, man.
I agree with Dave Chappelle. He's coming for us.
This is
That's
really
okay. He wants blood.
Oh,
Right, okay, Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney basically, like, he's one of those people that I feel could say anything and get away with it. And you kind of just... he's one of those comedians that, like, you'd be like, if your white friend was like, "Oh, what, you going to comedy show? Let me come." I'm like, I don't know if this one's for you. You know, I don't know if you could. I don't know. Are you sure? Oh God, okay, cool. Come on, then. Yeah, you're like, because there's something about him where he's so, like, it's almost quite. His words are almost very vicious, but you find the humor in it, and he manages to find a really. He's very borderline from being humorous to, whoa, that's kind of deep, man. Do you know what I mean? But I just love his brazenness, man. He's just so real. He just feels like someone's uncle. Do you know what I mean? Someone's uncle who's just sick and tired of life, and he wants to share all his misery to you. And he's just so, like, it's really compelling.
Does he have a special?
I would have thought so. Thought so.
Does he have a special that comes to your mind?
Not really. Do you know what? To be honest, I just keep thinking about just seeing him in clips and stuff, and just thinking, this guy is like he's just, man. It's like
he's only ever really made me smile and nod.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm with Daniel.
I know he's funny. And that's all I'm saying. That's funny.
I feel like, again, he's somebody for me that kind of comes across as a bit more than a comedian. You know, like how Dave Chappelle has a very almost political stance in the sense of talking for the people. Paul Mooney represents another voice too, like that. Like, if you listen to his interviews and stuff, you're like, fuck, this guy's actually mad clever. He's so freaking clever. I feel like he just, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel...
I feel personally I may be a little bit biased because of in my like search for comedy and stuff, like he had dealings with Richard Pryor, and I've heard about things that cannot be confirmed or whatever or denied, but like that made him go down in my rating of him.
You see, I'm not even.
And
it's I'm looking at content, like what you saying.
Okay, but I don't know if you heard what I heard.
It doesn't really matter. It's like the whole R. Kelly debate. It's the same kind of thing.
Okay, let's not get into that then.
But it is though. It is. It's the craft. But it's the craft, isn't it? I'm telling you why he's in my top 5. It's all about the craft. I'm thinking about crafts. You talk about
I'm just saying that why I may be biased against him. I'm not saying whatever. Like I don't want to get into this whole R. Kelly debate because then that goes off on a wild tangent. And that brings a whole new debate. But I'm just saying, like, I respect him as a comedian. I think he's up there, but he's not in my top 5. Because I may have personal biases.
Okay.
I don't want us to get into that debate. I think that's a conversation.
It's a valid point. It's the reason, certain people fall out of contention for me. Like the fact that the majority of my list is going to be black males because they relate to me a bit more. Yeah, they just. Okay. I mean, they relate to me a bit more. They say things that I'm thinking.
And even though they might be American,
it's easier for me. Even though they might be American, they're speaking more my language than. Maybe because I've been brought up in American media, so it makes it easier for me to relate to them.
That's a part of me.
Anyway, yeah. So having somebody fall down in your pecking order because their content, because of other things that aren't really in their content, it might be, it's valid, it's relevant. It happens, isn't it? Some people just kind of fall out of contention just for reasons that you can't really explain. Even if you can explain them, you can't really justify them. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
They don't bang. I don't laugh at the jokes because I've got these things. There's something else there.
Yeah, there's a barrier that's blocking the laughter. It's just that,
and I'm not trying. I'm not trying to hold the laughs in. It's just something's happened.
Yeah.
Is that because he makes you feel uncomfortable? Because it would make more sense in a way, because that's the kind of humor
Probably.
I love uncomfortable.
No. His comic content doesn't make me feel uncomfortable.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Everything he says.
Content.
Okay, and what I'm saying is, despite the fact that it bangs in terms of like, if had I not known what I know now.
No, content.
I don't want to speak
content. Do you know what I mean?
I'm explaining to you.
Right, okay.
I'm explaining to you what I'm talking about.
All right.
Like, the content itself does not offend me. It doesn't make me biased. It's just a case of, like, I've heard certain things and I have not known them to be proved true or false. So if it's like you mentioned R. Kelly, but it's the same reason a lot of people will refuse to let their kids watch the Cosby Show, because
which is ridiculous.
What's happened. Yeah, but it's a case of this actor's portraying this, but in his private life is that. So the personal bias is what is holding back your appreciation for the actual artwork. And I say artwork in terms of, like, whether it was a painting or a song or a comedy show or whatever, it's art.
So say, for example, we find out Dave Chappelle has done some bullshit in his past and whatever. That's now going to completely taint your view. All the wonderful things you just said about Dave Chappelle just now.
1, possibly. 2, probably not. Because Dave Chappelle has been very honest and raw about his whole career.
Plus,
so
Nicholas is speaking, when he speaks about Paul Mooney, he's speaking about feelings he's already feeling, and saying maybe it's because you can't really
I need to see these
say this is. You can't really say that this is how I'm going to feel if this happens in the future, because he didn't plan his feelings for Paul Mooney, and he's not sticking by them out of. I don't imagine. Sorry, I'm speaking for you, but I don't imagine you're sticking by these feelings for out of stubbornness.
Absolutely, and thank you, Bunton, for explaining to this comedic Neanderthal.
Bob, while he's doing that, you got a second pick?
Do I have a second pick? Oh man, this is very hard.
Paul Mooney a part of the writing team for.
Why can't you say his name?
Paul Mooney. It's a lot, man.
Paul
Mooney. Was he a part of the writing for Richard Pryor? Was he one of Richard Pryor's writers?
I think
Okay.
I think he was. Yeah.
He possibly was.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, because they were.
I can't remember his name at the end of in the credits. Credits.
Yeah. So Justin, what you need to look up is the controversial stuff between those two. I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to. I've already done it.
They probably slept together.
I mean, the thing is, we yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah.
Fell out.
If you don't want to bring it up,
no, it's too late. I've already brought it up. All right, cool. So allegedly, Paul Mooney put the moves on Richard Pryor's son.
Okay.
And Richard Pryor literally wanted to kill him himself.
On his son.
Yeah, and that's one of the things like before I discovered that. Just for those of you that are listening, Justin's googling.
All right, now Bob, you might go on. Go to your second pick. You got.
Just dropping bombs and just like, let's move on.
No, Justin's got to do his research, isn't it? We can't sit down watching his research. Who's your second pick?
No, but I thought he was going to
come out over it anyway. Oh, you got more to say? Oh shit, go for it, man. What are you saying?
It doesn't matter. You cut me off.
Put his moves on his son.
Yeah.
Richie got wild.
No, because obviously Richard Pryor wasn't a pussy, or innit? Like, he was about that life. Like, he told jokes, but it was like, yo, you fucking with my son, I'm gonna fucking dead you. And that's something that I've heard, like bodyguards and all this kind of stuff. Like before you take something at face value, you need to do your research. So, like, you can't take someone's verbal account for the truth because they could be biased as well.
Okay.
But it was the way they spoke about it and all this other stuff and things I know about Richard Pryor that made me believe that it was a true account of events.
All right.
So you basically cancelled him, basically.
I didn't cancel him. I still listen to his stuff, but I just don't hold him in as high regard as I did before. Like, I haven't cancelled R. Kelly. I haven't cancelled anybody that everybody else has said, oh, no, this is unacceptable. It's a case of my opinion is my opinion.
In your own personal world, what does cancelling look like? Because I understand I kind of understand when the internet cancels someone, but what does if a person cancels a celebrity? What does that mean to you?
We should do a top 5
That would mean that would. Oh.
No. No.
I wouldn't have anyone on it.
That's too much.
Do you know, I literally wouldn't have anyone on it.
That's too much sadness and negativity to even think about. But if we had to do that, we would have to come up with someone. But I don't think I've cancelled anyone because of it. I haven't cancelled him. He's not in my top 5.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Do you know what the weird thing about stuff like this though is as well? It's kind of what you said in the beginning. You can't prove it, nor can you deny it, right? But still, in those situations, we kind of point towards people being guilty rather than anything else, because it's obviously clouded your image or vision of him, right? And I think that's one thing I kind of have a problem with most of these things, when people kind of like, and I'm not necessarily saying you either, Boo. It's just like people kind of go, oh my gosh, like it's like there are certain crimes that if you get accused of, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. That stain is there forever.
For example, rape or paedophilia.
Yep.
If you're accused of either of those and you're innocent, it doesn't matter because you've been associated with those crimes.
100%, and there's no turning back. There's no turning back. It doesn't matter how many times you go to the courts and whatever, and then they say no, he wasn't guilty. It was all a lie. People are still going to be like, hey, wasn't that guy who got done for rape? Do you know what I mean? It will still be a thing. So that's why sometimes with these things I'm a bit more cautious, and I'm like, okay, yes, 100% might well have done it. People say he did, fair enough. But then there's also another 100% where he might not have done it. So it's all a bit. Yeah. So because of that, I just try not to let it cloud my vision. I would be like, all right, cool. Well, let me see the content. I'm not letting it cloud my vision.
But it's a case of like, if I've got a cousin that says, oh yeah, don't go to Uncle so and so's house because he touched me inappropriately.
Most definitely, yeah.
I'm not gonna go there and be like, oh yeah, well if he touched you, he better touch me because I feel left out.
What?
What? I know what he means, but
do you? Shit.
How do you not like Paul Mooney?
The thing is, what I'm saying. No, let me explain to Daniel.
The thing is, Nick, I think you're personalising this though, because we don't know Paul Mooney. He's not our friend. He's not our uncle. He's not our brethren.
Okay.
So it's easier for us to look outside and go, well, that's his content. I don't know about his character. I never met him. He could be an arsehole if I met him. Do you know what I mean? So it's more about. Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
That's anyway.
I don't know.
But anyway.
Daniel's gonna struggle with it. But let's move on to my second, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can't move on to the second because Daniel doesn't understand me.
No. I understood you before you started rambling to Justin. I got it, man. I don't need any more.
You don't need any more, but I made that whole thing, and you just like, what?
Okay, no.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, yo, you don't want to get fondled by your uncle. Like, I get you. I don't want to either. Let's go.
Okay. I'll introduce you to the uncle later on. You're a big man. You can handle yourself.
Like, huh?